play devil's advocate here. Can you really take this season the way it ended in this quick series to really make those quick decisions?
Man, we flipped around right now real quick here, the two of us.
Yes.
I'm bad cop and you're good cop now.
Yes, go.
What's going on? No, I don't think. I mean, I don't think so. But it would be interesting to see if anything does change based on these couple of games and what goes on, or does the organization look at it and say, "Look, just a crazy scenario. These guys came back and it just didn't work out, and oh well, and move on." And again, I haven't wanted long-term contracts for either one of them anyway. But I think it is something to think about, though. I mean, does what goes on here change the way they look at these players?
You better sign Georgiev. You better sign him.
Oh, he's out of here. Trade bait.
You know what?
Trade bait.
Shesty and everything else. I mean, the guy's an anchor. I mean, he's not even there for what happened. I can't wait to find out what happened.
You know what we haven't talked about, Paulie? Through all the stuff, the negative that we're bringing out here, is that we're actually one loss away from a 12.5% chance of having the number one overall pick and bringing Lafreniere, to the Rangers.
Very exciting.
It's
for
not
him to
all
play on the
bad
fourth
news.
line in 2 years. Yeah.
I will say that I did mention on this podcast that the Rangers should probably tank.
Yes.
So maybe they're taking my advice. Like, I'm sitting here, killing them, but I should probably be praising them for taking my advice.
All right, well, there's your advice, and, I tweeted the other day, we're going to spot them 2 games and win them 5. So we'll see what happens. You'll get your first-round draft pick, and hopefully I get my, Rangers in 5.
Yeah, I'll throw this at you. Rick Carpinello today tweeted out, teams that go up 2-0 are 55-1 all time in best of 5 series. There you go.
Not this time. Not in 2020, baby. 2020 is gonna we gotta get the 2020 curse on the Canes here tomorrow night and let it start tomorrow night. Why can't they get a bum run here of the 2020 jinx here and hopefully that's what happens.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Rangers are going home for Game 3, so we'll have the rowdy MS Street crowd tomorrow. Oh wait, no.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. This is what I was thinking about. This is what, if they win tomorrow night, right? No, so they're home tomorrow night, right? Yeah, they would be the home team.
Yeah, they'll have the blue jerseys on.
This is what I was thinking. JD's got to call the league, and there's a lot of space up there in the stands, especially way up top. Not on the side where they have all the NHL and the scores and all that stuff and the graphics and everything. JD's got to make a call, all right, or Gordon or whatever, and we need to get Dancing Larry up on the other side. Little CC Dance Factory going on.
Why? So they lose 10-0 tomorrow?
Just think of this, right? They're playing, and then they go to stoppage, and all you hear is dan, 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 dan. And we get the camera, and the only guy up in the stands is Dancing Larry. I'm telling you.
Only if he has a mask on, though.
Get Dancing Larry up Toronto for that game tomorrow night, buddy. I think that's what they're missing.
Do you think that they'll have, like, a recording of, like, the Pot Fan Chuck? It sucks with, like, whistle, like, going on and play that, like, throughout the game. That'd be cool.
Well, I don't know. Might as well try and bring as much in as they can, But they'll play the Ranger goal song, I guess, tomorrow night if they.
I think that they do that anyway. Like when the Rangers score, I think that. Did they do that? I'm trying to remember. I thought they may have done that for the away team. Like they just play their goal song anyway.
Isn't this terrible? Are we watching the games?
I'm not.
Sound on, sound off. Oh
Terrible.
man, look, they
Go
ahead.
No, I was gonna say it just goes back to it just doesn't have the playoff feel to me. Sorry.
All right. Okay, so now
you know what? I didn't want them to win this fake Stanley Cup anyway. So whatever. It doesn't count. Asterisk.
So let's take a portion of the show right now. Rangers get eliminated tomorrow night. It's over.
Fire Quinn.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, this fan's calling for it all over Twitter, man. Oh man, that guy just can't get a break. He was so miserable. He's got that miserable. When he's mad and bummed, man, he just looks terrible, man.
He's not having a good.
Like an Irishman hungover after a big bad night of drinking, man. His eyes are all red. He's just like, oh my God. It's hard to watch, man.
He's not having a good series right now. I mean, he's not making the adjustments needed at this point, to change things up. I mean, he's definitely being outcoached at this point, which is fine. He's still young. I mean, he's still got a way to go, and you hope that he's going to learn a lot from this. But, he hasn't been great either in this series.
Absolutely not. I mean, I brought it up earlier. This is a team that we saw earlier in the year. Same mistakes, same system. Outside the perimeter. Nobody going through the net. Defensively, same thing. Power play, horrible. Chasing, face-offs. It's just basic stuff. And they're not even playing Boston. They're not even, playing Colorado. They're playing the Carolina Hurricanes. And Hamilton's not even in the lineup. Justin Williams, old man Williams, is out there and he's causing all kinds of problems. So
it is amazing to think that a power play with Panarin and Zibanejad and Kreider,
Trouba, Fox,
and D'Angelo, that and Strome can go 0-for-7. Ugh.
But you can just you mentioned you can just picture they come behind the net, and then it's the same thing, and they just kind of skate up there with no purpose, and then that quick pass at the blue line. I mean, chuck it in there, get dirty, get hit, challenge the referees. They're gonna need 14 power plays tomorrow night, I guess. So, I don't know. But look, here's what I want to ask you as we're winding down this episode here. What's some of the things, we might as well, what the hell? They lose tomorrow night, whatever. Joking around, Fire Quinn. How do you, what do the Rangers start looking at for next year as far as, what they're going to do?
I mean, I think that they continue with what they've been doing this year. I think it's giving a little bit more responsibility to some of those younger guys. I think it is seeing if you can get Hedl in that second line center role. Can you get Kakko into the top six? What do you do with a guy like Howden who, has struggled? They've been trying to give this guy ice time, and he hasn't, come through for them. So I think next year and what they're going to do is decision time on some of these young guys. Again, a Howden, a Lemieux. Is Lemieux a type of guy that they want or need on this team? He's a guy that I like in theory and what he should be bringing, but he's had a disappointing year. So I think it's next year is a put up or shut up time for a lot of these younger guys that, we're hoping to be part of the future of this franchise. You're also looking at the free agents. What are you doing with Strome, as I mentioned before? What are you doing with D'Angelo? They're restricted free agents, so you can get them on short-term deals. If that's the way to go, I would like to see them do that. I'd hate to see either one of them given long-term deals. So I think it's looking at the next step forward for these younger guys, and can they take the next step to bring this team to greatness? And that's what I'm looking for as they continue this rebuild, because I still think it's part of the rebuild. I don't think next year is, the year that it's cup or bust for these guys. I think it's taking that next step to actually making the playoffs, because I don't count this what's going on now is the playoffs. I know the NHL wants to call it the playoffs. It's not. It's a qualifier. They're not even in the round of 16 yet. So I think next year is you need to be in the playoffs in that 16, in that top 8 in the Eastern Conference, and probably win a round. And are these young guys that they're going to be counting on able to do that? And if not, that's a big question for next offseason. Who is out there? And maybe we need to start making some free agent acquisitions because we're going to have some money next offseason when guys like Lundqvist and Stahl are off the books, Brendan Smith. So I think next year is to continue to look at the development of those players. I think put them in bigger roles, and can they handle it? And can Quinn get this team to that next level? And look, next summer too, if he's unable to do that, if for some reason the team doesn't make the playoffs or goes into playoffs and craps the bed again like they are now, you have to start looking at Quinn and saying, is this our guy, to get us where we need to be? So I think next year is a huge year for this team and what this rebuild is going to be about.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, you can sign all the free agents you want. And we've got, 3 big guys up there making a lot of money. It's the system. The system has to be, it's got to be something, like I said, it's tough. Like I said, we saw it going really good there before the shutdown. And I hate to harp on it, but there was a lot of bad habits in these 2 games that I saw. And like I said, your top goal scorers there, especially Mika. I know Panarin Pop went in here today on power play, but those assets, Capo Caco and everybody else in there, Hedl. I mean, Hedel's got. I mean, when he gets the puck and he gets in there, he's got great vision. He's it's frustrating for me. Do you think he's getting enough time? Do you think he's getting enough shot up front?
I'd like to see him get a little bit more. I think I was looking at the time on ice earlier. I think he was getting less ice time than Howden is, and I know Howden plays PK and whatnot, but
that makes my head explode.
Yeah, I mean, well, that again, I think that's where the criticism of Quinn, is justified, because in certain cases you're looking at the ice times that certain guys are getting, and it's a bit of a head scratcher that Howden is getting more. Yeah, Howden had
basically the same yesterday.
Yeah,
14 minutes each.
Yeah, so I mean, they shouldn't be getting the same amount of ice time. And I know Howden plays on the PK, so he's getting a little bit more ice time there. But Hedo's got to be getting more than 14 minutes, in my opinion.
Capel got 17,
which is good. I mean, and he's deserved it because he's been playing much better. So yeah, I'd like to see Hedo get a little bit more. My concern with these games is that, and I don't think it'll happen, because I think that JD and Gordon have their plan, and I think they're going to stick to it. I'd hate to see any type of, panic within the organization as far as the rebuild. I don't care about panic for tomorrow's game and trying to get a win. I just think overall, when the dust settles on, whatever happens in this series, they continue going forward with their plan. I think they will, but I just hope that this qualifying round and what's turning into a disaster doesn't make them think twice about, what they are trying to accomplish here, or what they're trying to do and their plan going forward, because it was working. And I think once things get back to normal and they have a normal training camp and they get these guys, the younger guys, in a camp and getting ready, and Condre Miller's in, and maybe a Niles Lundqvist. Oh, Lundqvist's not coming back next year, but get a Condre Miller in there, and maybe you get the number 1 overall pick, and you keep going forward. So I still love the plan they have. What's going on right now is disappointing, but I do think you can look at the situation